Good morning, welcome to the Yeshiva Shalom Bayit, where you are encouraged to leave your home and come to learn Torah, and you'll have a lot of Shalom Bayit. So we're in Siman Yud Bet, Seif Bet, Halacha Bet, it says like this. Echa detzarich k'dei aniva, מתוך שהחוטאים תאבים אינו יכול לענבם, ואילו היה דקים היה בהם כדי עניבה כשר. So he says, how do you make the knots to make it hanging? ומתוך שהחוטאים עבים אינו יכול לענבם, ואילו היה דקים היה בהם כדי עניבה כשר. So he says that even if it's strenuous for you to make a string because of their thickness, right? Even in that case, the rabbi says, and now it's a big discussion. What makes the tzit kasher? Some say that once you made the two knots, lachatchila, it's kasher already.
Double knot on the top, that's it.
That's it. The top, the front, the top.
Yeah,
this thing.
top.
You made two knots here, and your kavanah is for tzitzit, 100% yotzeh. It says even halachot Shabbat. How we know that? From halachot Shabbat. In halachot Shabbat, to be over isur makeh b'patish. Makeh b'patish means completing the garment, right? You completed the work, which is isur d'oraita of makeh b'patish, number 37 or 36. I'm sorry, I don't remember offhand. I think it's 37. It says over there, makeh b'patish, completing halachot Shabbat. Yeah, makeh b'patish is you completed the garment. So now tzitzit is not complete. The four corners are not complete. You have to put in tzitzit, the strings. So how does a person break the halacha? Is by making this knot, the last knot right here, the first knot. Once you tie the first knot, the oraita, you have fulfilled the mitzvah of tzitzit. So the rabbi says here, so now you're going to have 8 strings hanging. So you have the 8 strings hanging, and that what we discussed yesterday. That will make the kasher tzitzit. Now, the reason you're not tying anymore because it's too hard. It's too thick. Let's say the strings are too thick, and you cannot do it for whatever reason is. Rabbi says even in that case, still, if it was thinner strings, you would be able to do it. So that would make it kasher. Meaning, as long as it's the right material for the chutim. Umasharin bechutin benoniin. Okay, okay. The rabbi says, however, don't use too thin of a string that could rip just by snap of a finger. Don't use those. Don't use too thick that you can't tie. The Hagar, us adding over here, always use the strings that are in medium. This is called medium, right? If you pull on it, it's not going to rip. And if you try to roll on it, it rolls. You see, it's it. So this is perfect. Now, this is not talking about when you go to a store, you say, give me thin one and thick ones, right? This is not talking about that. In a store, there's 2 different categories. Obviously, there's thinner ones, but the Hagar is calling it Beinonim. That's still called Beinonim. Okay? So obviously, there's different levels of...
Even in the thick that they sell today, you can make a knot.
Right, that's right. So but there are thick ones. Around the point of Maran is, if there's a thick one that you can't make the string, can't roll it, still kasher.
Yeah.
As long as it gives you, when you fold it, you're still able to fold it. And you make the first 2 knots, it gives you 8 hanging, that will be kosher enough. That's what the halacha says. Okay. Gimel. Kedei aniva, what does it mean in order to make the hanging? That aniva, like you have a tie over here. Tie, what is tie? What is it called? It's hanging, right? So what's hanging here? Le Rashi min ha'anav, or liri afilu nechtach kol ha'anav velo nishar. So now it's going to already the measurements, what's his name? What is considered to be, I guess, loose. So that's a bit, that Baruch Hashem, we have no problem with that. Minhag ha'olam, kirashi, and we hold like Rashi, ve'echad delo efshar, yesh nismoch al ri. But again, if it's very hard to make it, I guess, long enough or big enough, but we said already, right, what's the measurements? 4 handsbreadths. As long as you have 4 handsbreadths, that means from here, yeah, Aaron. From here, you have 4 breads just hanging, will be kasher already. Lechatchila. Right? So now, but you're going to say, so how come if let's say you have 5 strings are ripped, all 4 on this one, and 1 of this, so maybe this is not giving you exact measurements of 4 and 4. If you stretch it out, it's not going to give you 4 and 4 on the side.
That's why
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. That's the problem. Okay, no, because I just asked the question. If you're telling me that the main thing that should be here hanging 4 inches, right? So let's say our question the other day was if you have all four on this side are ripped, right? And we all know that what's on this side is exactly opposite on this side. Why? Because we said when you tie the knots, before you start putting on the tzitzit, you're supposed to, once you go through the hole here, you're supposed to actually tie one side for make a knot.
Yeah, if you mix it up, it's a baya.
That's right. So that's how you make sure that it doesn't mix up.
Yeah.
You make a tie on, you make a knot on top. You make a siman, and then you will know it's actually one opposite the other.
Yeah.
So I just asked if let's say we have all four ripped to here. We said all four ripped to here.
If it's in order,
it's still kosher.
Okay. Yeah.
Why? Because you're gonna have going enough
the
here.
other side, yeah.
But now we asked what happens if you have five ripped.
That's it.
Now you have but so I thought maybe you could still get over here four. Let's pretend you're going this
once
way.
you have five, it's for sure one of them double.
That's 100%. That's not that's what I'm asking. But I was thinking maybe release all this, and you'll have the four, right?
Uh-huh.
But you don't. 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't. You have to double. This has to be 8 hand breads in order for that to be kosher. You understand what the question? What I'm answering?
Yeah.
Okay. Even if 5 would be still kosher, why? Because you could always stretch the one out here. But that would not be. So it's not. You're saying it's not because the nuts are not encompassing in them 8 finger breads. Just let me make this loose for a second. Okay. Now, Siman Yud Gimel. Dinei tzitzit b'Shabbat ubo Gimel seifin. Now we're coming into rules of Shabbat, which again from Shabbat you could learn many halachot how to even do tzitzit. Okay. Aleph. 4 ציציות מעכבין זה את זה, שכל זמן שאין בה כל 4 אינה מצויצת כהלכתה. So now, again, what is let's go. The Maran is going to be going now that he told us a secret. Most of us didn't know, right? Or maybe even knew, but most of us didn't know that from the knot of the top, it's already kasher, right? So now, you have a garment that has 4 corners. So it's cold outside. Right now, it's very relevant. In New York, whatever is becoming freezing over there, starting to become, you want to wear more clothes. On Shabbat, you found a garment that has 4 corners, but it has 3 instead of 4. Oh. So in reality, now it has only 6 hangings. Whatever happened, maybe one of the reasons it's good that we have it like this. By me, my children, it's out of this world. It's like soon you're gonna have this problem. What they do? You're standing there with the talit. You're sitting with the talit. They come right over there. Right? I used to come home, let's say, from make a kiddush with the talit. They come. What do? They play with your tzitzit. Yeah. On Shabbat, what do they do? Braiding. They braid with your tzitzit on Shabbat. You're gonna have problems taking off the braid. What's going on here? You have to be very careful with the kids. And they start playing there. So what happened? You find this guy tzitzit at home. Yeah. Instead of 4 strings, all of a sudden it's only 3. The child took it home and playing with it. That's what it is. Yeah. So maybe that's why the Chachamim instituted make it like this, because they know the child's problem.
Yeah.
Soon by you, Mr. Hashem Rabbi Yitzchak. Many drive you nuts. I'm like, hello, stop touching my tzitzit. Baruch Hashem. So he says, you have to have 4 from each side. So this is what he means. That you have to have in mind that according to the Maran now, it's about just having the 2 nuts. Okay? Which, that would be very common in this situation, that you had 2 nuts, a kid came over, took off one, you have a problem. So he says, meaning that if there is no 4, you have a problem. And therefore, hear what's going on here? You found that tzitzit with 3 strings, with 3 and 3 means 6. Now you're gonna walk outside, you're gonna say maybe it's kosher tzitzit. I have tzitzit, everybody's gonna see I have tzitzit, right? Who knows? You're gonna count, Rabbi Yosef, you're gonna come and count by me? You're gonna say yes, tzitzit. That's it. Nobody cares. So you might say, nobody cares, let me go. There's still Avirah. Hashem knows. What's the Avirah? The strings are not for L'Shem Tzitzit. If they're not L'Shem Tzitzit, you're a carrier, and on that you are going to be obligated to bring a korban, a whole ship. You were cold. Now let's go. You work extra day or 2 to buy. How much could it cost a ship today? Anybody bought a ship lately? $400. So minimum. If you're a good employee, you make about $200-300 a day. So a whole day and a half, sometimes 2 days, a person has to work because he was cold. Okay, no, Shem Rachem Aleinu. Next. הלכה ב' אם היא מצויצת כהלכתה, מותר לצאת בה לרשות הרבים. So now, there's a question. I heard from one Chacham, he says, I don't understand. If, on the summertime, if you're allowed to, it's a very nice question. I mean, we don't follow it because but it's out of this world. Only Litvaks could come up with this beautiful question. On the summertime, are you going to put anything extra on you? No, you're finding a way to walk in the street as little as possible clothing. So he says, how come you're allowed to walk outside on Shabbat with tarit gadol? How's that allowed? You hear what's going on? There's a question.
During the summer.
During the summer, why are you allowed to walk with a tarit gadol? Because really, you wouldn't walk with it. You're not looking, so you're not wearing it for clothing. The whole purpose of tarit is what?
Mitzvah.
No,
Clothing.
It is clothing, yeah.
It's your clothing.
Why you use it, yeah.
So I answer very simple to this.
I have a worse question. In the Laila,
Yeah.
it's allowed to come out with the tzitzit in the Laila, even in the winter.
What do you mean? We said already, according to Ben Ishchai, it's a chovat to wear tzitzit 24/7. According to Kabbalah, yes, 24/7.
No, but the halacha is, in the Laila, it's not mitzvah to use tzitzit. If it's not mitzvah to use tzitzit, and you go out with the tzitzit katan,
On Shabbat, you
on
mean?
Shabbat.
You're saying
Shabbat,
better.
I'm saying.
Yeah, beautiful. To those, it's a beautiful question. That's right.
worse.
And I'll answer you the question. No, it's not an answer. You're going to like the answer. So now, anyway, so he's asking a very beautiful question. You go to shul on Friday afternoon. You come home Friday night. It's already Shabbat. Now, according to those opinions who tell you that tzitzit is not allowed to be wearing, and that's supposed to be wearing at night, not allowed, not supposed to be.
Yeah, it's not mitzvah.
Right? It's no mitzvah to wear it. So just like right now, we said no. So over there, we could say like this. This is what I answered to this chacham. Why on Shabbat I wear my tzitzit? I wear it because, remember me, I'm the biggest Baal Gava in the world. Right? They're going to say, now, wow, Rab Sofer is the biggest Gava. You're right. I love mitzvot. And, biggest Gava, Malchut, kingdom. When I wear my tzitzit, I look at people, look at me, wow. A melech is walking through. Right? You tell a king, take off your I want to see what happens to you. Excuse me, king, isn't it hot? Yeah? You sweat? Chop off the head. The king is wearing his robe in the 150 degrees outside. He's going to take off his jacket? He's not going to take off his jacket. And that's what it is. We wear a hat as a crown. I don't care if it's boiling hot outside. You're not wearing it because you look, somebody send me a video, Rabbi, change your tie. So I'm not wearing my tie for a fashion over here. Oh, he says, such an ugly tie, I don't know. And it's not because you're wearing the same tie every day. I'm like, okay, I have different ties, whatever. But I'm not in fashion business. I'm here because I have my hat, a little tie to respect the people that I'm learning with. Yeah, not because, so now I'm wearing the talit for what? Malchut. So now maybe the same answer, talit katan. Yeah. Friday night, it's mal malchut. It's a beged. What makes us beautiful is our clothes. My wife sometimes gets upset with me. I said, a woman is beautiful with clothing. That's what I say. A woman is much more beautiful, and the clothing beautify the woman. And if I'm wrong, so someone's like, the body's not good. No, the clothing is more makes me beautiful. That's why on weddings people spend $3,000-$4,000 just to go to the wedding. Beautiful. Why? Because the beauty of a woman is really how a person dresses. Same thing for a man.
So the beauty of a man, the same thing.
That's right. It's all about, some people go crazy today for style. The youngsters are going crazy. The tight pants and tight zay. And I want to buy a shirt. No, slim fit. Everything's slim fit. But that's what our world is. So the same thing, talit. We want to wear a talit on Shabbat. You want to make sure that you look at malchut. That's what makes you allowed to go out. But it has to have the kosher strings. And that's what I answer this chacham.
So can you wear it at night?
Yeah, so same thing, malchut. Malchut. It signifies malchut.
Okay.
And besides, it's protection also.
Because, yes.
We said you're allowed to even put on tefillin on Shabbat. For, let's say somebody has a halom ra. And he feels that he's going to be distraught the whole Shabbat, and he needs some extra protection. Most achronim even say he's allowed to put on tefillin. Mm-hmm. If he thinks that tefillin is going to elevate his pleasure, to take away the shmuara. Let's say he had a bad dream, a horrible dream, and it scared him a lot.
Isn't it muktzah on Shabbat?
Yes, right. 100% it's muktzah. Tefillin is muktzah on Shabbat. Beautiful question, Chaim. But not b'chamat mitzvah. Mechamat it's Muhammad mitzvah. It's true. It's Mukhti Muhammad mitzvah. No, Muhammad mitzvah. Yeah, it's lo mitzvato lo b'Shabbat. It's true, but we have a klal. You're gonna allow you have to elevate yourself. So the tzorach gufo, you need it now. The tzorach gufo because you need it, and it's gonna make you feel better. And yes, some say it's a big argument, but we are natia to say that if a person is going to feel better and Shabbat le'oneg d'tana, you have to have oneg on Shabbat. So this guy, in order to take away his bad dream, do what's his name? That's why he's allowed to do tanit. But again, only if the tanit is going to make him feel better, right? And if this person makes him feel better, put on tefillin, that he has more protection, that's zuchut, it's like a kamiyah, he's allowed to use it. Okay, on Shabbat. Anyway. Now, don't tell me that I said everybody should put on tefillin on Shabbat. I'm going to get phone calls like that. You never know these people. Okay. Oh, so now it says, לצאת ברשות הרבים, בין טלית קטן, בין טלית גדול אפילו בזמן הזה שאין לנו תכלת.
Oh, worse, okay.
Right? No תכלת, still you're allowed. And now he's explaining. I didn't open my mouth. You see, Aaron, I opened my mouth too much. That's the problem. Rema, look at the Maran, he's going to tell you everything. רק שלא יהיה מונח לו על כתפיו. However, you're not allowed to walk with the talit on Shabbat like this, on your shoulder.
You have to wear it, right?
You have to wear it. That's רמה, כתפיו, ומקומין על הטלית החזקתל שהוא מצויצת קהילתו, ואין צריך לבודקו. Okay, so now that we had earlier, remember that the halacha is, it's great a person who makes sure his talit is always kasher, to checks it every day. The rabbi says over here, no, if you have most probably your talit is kasher, you don't have to even check it. Maybe this is what Satan loves. Satan loves sefikot. He loves to put doubts in people. Don't people understand that? Don't. Ashkenazim, I love them, but one time a big Talmid Chacham comes to me, Abraham, I want to ask you a question. I said, yeah. How come when you talk you're so confident all the time? You're always confident. But Ashkenazim, they're teaching sfekot. They really have to check themselves. Why they have that? Why you have to be always in sfekot? And he was surprised that when I talk, I always talk confident. And I tell him very simply, because I have a rule. It says in one of the mitzvot, 570 something. No, remember 563 or so. Over 550. You see, you have to learn mitzvot every day.
That doesn't sound too confident.
Yeah, but it says over there clearly. No, I don't know the number, but I know what it says. Whatever comes out of your mouth, you should do, and you should keep. That means to me, when I learn Torah, I can't say a word out of my mouth unless I'm confident about it. You can't talk if you're not confident. It's not a kunz to come up with questions to make sfekot. That is not the way of Torah. That is bichlal not Torah. The Torah is all about being confident. You said something, even if you want to ask a question. You have to end off with an answer, with a confident answer. If you want to bring up a question, right? You want to bring up, let's say, an issue. You have to know that first of all, if you have a solution. Don't bring up just leave people in a hanging, which is not appropriate way of talking. You're a person. You're supposed to be a confident person. You're supposed to be knowing what you're doing. So I told him, I'm sorry. I said that's the problem. When I became when my stepfather, when I came to America, he right away was grooming me. I didn't know what Torah is, bichlal. He came from the former Soviet Union. We grew up on it, whatever. The only thing I know about Torah, Jewish means we have to fight all the time. They're going because that's what we did. Hey, Jew, let's fight. Okay, let's fight. That's all. That's what we did the whole day. Wars, rocks, slingshots, whatever you want, chains. We were fighting day and night when I was growing up. So I came to America. So the first thing my stepfather, he says to me, let me tell you the difference between Ashkenazim and Sephardim. Ashkenazim is always going to be in a doubt. He has to know 100%, and if it's not written, if he didn't see it, he doesn't believe it, he doesn't trust it. Yeah, until he sees it in a book, until he delves into it, that's the difference.
They stay in the Gemara, they don't go to the mitzvot.
Now,
the halachot is to clear the doubt.
Now, the Sephardim, he told me the difference is very simple. The Sephardim is we are tamim, we just follow, and then this is what my stepfather said. Then I went to Gvul Yavitz. You can blame him, not me. Rab David Cohen, the big poisek of Flatbush, he said the same thing. What's the difference between Ashkenazi and Sephardi? He said in the same pattern, he says, Ashkenazi will not do anything until they see it in the book. Sephardi, they do everything whatever the father says, or the rabbi. Whatever the previous generation says. Khalas, don't ask questions, don't have to know the difference, don't have to understand anything, just follow what you're told, and you'll be good. And that's what the difference between Sephardi, Baruch Hashem, Emunat Chachamim, and Bezat Hashem, we're going to end off here. Gimel, we're in Yud Gimel. Have a wonderful day.